So, Bev, talk to us a little bit about the importance of grammar and how you think it should be taught or why it should be taught.
I love teaching grammar. I've fallen into that in the last 10 years. When I first was asked to teach a class and I was given this grammar workbook that I was supposed to be teaching from, honestly, I didn't even know the answers, because my own grammar instruction was so horrible when I was in school. I'm very intuitive when it comes to grammar, so I just kind of guessed, but I never really understood it. And then when I actually started teaching it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to educate myself here. And so I've done a lot of, work and reading and learning and trying to understand things. And I am so amazed, and everything I learn on top of this, I'm so amazed at how logical grammar is. Everybody thinks, grammar is stupid, it's just a bunch of rules. But when you actually understand, the sentence structure and why a comma goes there, and this is a complex sentence, and that's a subordinating conjunction, not a coordinating one. And I know different grammar curriculums use different words, and so sometimes that can be confusing for kids if they switch from one curriculum to another curriculum. But then once they learn, when this curriculum talks about a direct object, or this curriculum talks about a predicate noun and this one calls it a subject complement. As long as they realize that it's the same thing, it's just a different word, then they can kind of start to understand the big picture, I think, better. So I don't really think grammar is just about rules. I think it's more about understanding the structure of sentences and how you can do words. And then once you improve your grammar, then that, I think, in turn improves your writing, because if you know what a verbal is, then you can do a verbal sentence starter. If you have no idea what a verbal is, you're never going to do, a really cool verbal sentence starter, like a participle one, which I've just been teaching to my history kids right now. So anyway, so that's my little take on grammar. I know there's a lot of curriculums that say, oh, you just teach the kids to write and then you just tell them how to fix their mistakes. But again, if they don't understand, the logic behind it and why it is that way, then they're always just going to be like putting the Band-Aid on instead of actually learning the reasons behind everything.
So it is a passion for you.
Yeah, I did get pretty
Grammar enthusiasm.
about grammar.
That's great. That's how I feel about the SATs.
So yeah, I love grammar. And most of my kids love grammar too, so I guess I've passed it on to them.
That's great. Amy, any thoughts on grammar?
Yeah, I love what Bev said about how it's not just the rules. I think a lot of students, especially middle school students, come into an English class and think, oh, I have to memorize everywhere that a comma goes and all these boring rules. And I think one of the challenges for grammar teachers, and I really love this challenge, is that I want to help students think deeper about why that comma goes there. That really to think about how the fact is we have words to communicate. That's pretty much what we've got. And grammar teaches us how to use our words wisely, how to communicate powerfully, and really how to not just say what we want to say, but the reader to understand the deeper meanings. I mean, I know students, they look at me or they, look at the grammar book and they go, commas are boring. And so I try to make it funny by teaching them about how the sentence, let's eat grandma, without a comma, we're talking about some really serious problematic things, right? And so students start laughing and they go, oh yeah, that's why I do this. But it's really all about how we communicate and communicating powerfully.